At Brown University, a gunman walked in and opened fire. 11 people were hit. 2 were killed. One of the survivors was also a Parkland school shooting survivor. That means this person has survived 2 mass shootings in their short lifetime. Sit with that for a second. Kids and young adults in America are now survivors of multiple mass shootings. Talk about street cred. Then, before we've even processed that tragedy, another mass shooting happens in Brooklyn. I'm mentioning it now as a placeholder, because this keeps happening. By the time I finish researching it, there may already be another one. That's the point. We've now had more mass gun violence events this year than we've had days on the calendar. And every single time this comes up, Republicans roll out the same line. It's a mental health problem. But here's the problem with that excuse. They keep cutting mental health services. If this were actually about mental health, they wouldn't be cutting mental health funding. They wouldn't be gutting community clinics. They wouldn't be slashing Medicaid, special education services, SNAP benefits, free school lunches, or housing support. They don't care about kids once they're born. They don't care about families once they're struggling. They only care about children in utero because that's where control lives, control over women's bodies, choices, and futures. Their famous line is, "Pull yourself up by your bootstraps," but they are even lying about the origins of that statement. When people say, "Pull yourself up by your bootstraps," they usually mean you should succeed on your own, without help. But the original phrase meant the opposite. It was a joke about doing something impossible because you cannot lift yourself off the ground by pulling on your own boots. Over time, the meaning was twisted into a message used to shame poor and struggling people while ignoring the real barriers they face. Today, it's often used to excuse cutting support and blaming individuals for problems caused by systems stacked against them. Bottom line? This isn't about life, but that's their branding. They always have a boogeyman. In reality, those in power do not care about poor people at all, except as a labor supply. They want you housed just enough to show up, fed just enough to function, healthy just enough to work, struggling, too exhausted to fight back, and you're replaceable. None of this is about freedom. None of it is patriotic, democratic, or American. They claim they need guns in case the government goes rogue. But while they're saying that, we already have masked, government-appointed goons detaining people without due process, violating constitutional rights, targeting immigrants, legal visa holders, and even U.S. citizens. And where are the Second Amendment defenders while this is happening? Not one of them shows up when real tyranny is happening, in real time. This is about power. It's about hierarchy. It's about control. Who gets protected and who gets sacrificed? When Trump says, "All we can do is pray," I hear hypocrisy, because the Bible contradicts his excuse. James chapter 2, verse 26 says, "Faith without works is dead. Prayer without action is worthless, and action is possible." Other countries passed basic, common-sense gun safety laws, and they don't face tragedies like this. Their kids go to school without active shooter drills. Their citizens are safer. And yes, they're freer. So don't let them blow smoke at you. This isn't complicated. This isn't accidental. And this is not about protecting Americans. It's about control and exactly who they're willing to let die to keep it.